Hi, I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love that robe. Coming up on tonight's show, what were the biggest stories of the summer? Was it Donald Trump, a donut-licking pop star, a prison break, or my all-new beach workouts? Plus, former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill stops by to talk ISIS and if people still buy him drinks for killing bin Laden. And later, Joanne Nosuchinsky and Katherine Timpf investigate cat videos. Hey, it keeps him busy and away from the liquor cabinet. Oh, I've missed you, America. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
I'm told by his advisors he doesn't care about the flack he's getting.
That's messed up.
It is extremely distressing.
Are we trying to appeal to the ill-informed? I mean, what's the point of this?
Let's welcome tonight's guests. She's as blunt as an axe and twice as cutting. Fox business contributor Dagen McDowell. Well, he's so bright, he works part-time as a flashlight. He's also very small. Author Michael Malice. She's a big fan of free drinks and crying in public bathrooms. It's Joanne Nosuchinsky. And if facts were flies, she'd be flypaper. It's our op-ed, Katherine Timpf from National Review. And he had nothing better to do this holiday weekend. It's our liberal panel. There he is. Boo. All right. This summer, the airwaves were dominated by Donald, Hillary, Rachel, Ariana, Caitlyn, prison, flags, emails, debates, and a Big Mac Whopper marriage that never happened, thank God. My favorite story of the summer, some Americans, a Brit and a Frenchman taking down a terrorist on a Paris-bound train. This is my favorite story because it illustrates two sides of a scary coin. One, that it took the heroism of a group of men to stop incredible carnage. But two, worse, it shows you that without the heroism, there would have been incredible carnage. This thug was on a watch list, and it didn't matter. He roamed freely among the masses. My conclusion, we're sitting ducks for massacres unless we rethink security and surveillance. All right, Dagen, any thoughts on what I'm saying? I believe that we have to treat this heroic effort as though something bad happened and not just be happy that, nobody died.
I hope that people look at it and realize that they're going to have to step up and that they follow the heroic efforts of all of these men in taking down this terrorist. Rather than being worried about it, I'm optimistic that...
No. I don't want to step up. I miss the days of the dining car and the white gloves. I wasn't alive those days, but I hear they were lovely.
They were.
Men are badasses and women can be too. Come on, man.
No, but my point is, you cannot rely on you can't have a government rely on the kindness of strangers. If it wasn't for the heroism of these guys, Malice, there would have been 100 people dead, probably.
That's true, but let's be fair. Our government was founded on the kinds of strangers because George Washington's army were all volunteer, regular Americans. But this just, again, proves that the rest of the world will always have to depend on Americans to come and save their butts, especially the French.
Wow.
I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have to do anything. I want to sit on a train, pretend to be asleep, to get your own row.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need to worry about.
I'm not going to even be walking to McDonald's with you.
I think...
That's
I'm
for
serious.
Sure.
I think that surveillance and security should be treated like a public health issue, the same way you treat food safety and car safety. It's time for the public and the private and the government to work together and create a national police state.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw your face. Because terrorists are going to be using private pathways to destroy us. Private companies have to get involved. I'm tired of talking about this because I know that I'm right and I want to move on. Your story, Dagen, was Trump.
Yes, it is the perfect summertime story, right? It is like a bad hookup on a hot August night. He has pretty good pickup lines.
Yes.
But then there's the unfortunate fumbling and the empty promises. He will quickly end up insulting you about maybe your love handles, and then it's all over, and by the middle of September you're acting like you don't even know the guy, you don't remember any of this, or you blame tequila. That's how it's going to turn out.
It's true. Trump is America's summer fling.
How do you... But
But some people try to get that summer fling, like bring them to meet the family for Thanksgiving and, to Christmas. You want the presents. You know, you want arm candy.
But not a bad summer fling. I have a feeling this fling is going to go into the fall and perhaps into January.
Yeah, and just like
Because nothing else better comes along.
Yeah, I have said this before. He's football to the other candidate's soccer.
Well, also like how Barry Goldwater gave us Ronald Reagan, even if he doesn't become anything, he's really coarsened our political discourse, and frankly, I think it's a positive.
You like it because he's brought rawness.
Yeah, and I'm sick of this kind of pretense and discourse. I think it's, let's have warfare in Washington, just like we had back in there, people caning each other on the floor of the Senate.
Well, I will say to you, Kat, I find when he speaks to be very entertaining. I don't like his Twitter antics. That's what drives me nuts. It's like going on Twitter if you're going to be a president, to me, is kind of petty.
Well, I actually love going on Twitter. It's really great for me. I'm never alone when Twitter's around. But even his resting face is interesting. He doesn't have to be talking. Even when he's just like, do you think he sleeps like that? Is that how he wakes up in the morning?
At the start of the debate, this was his face.
Yeah.
No, but it is. But you know what? He is. This is what he was born for, right? I think this is what he's born for. He is a natural at talking to people. He does repeat himself over and over and over again. But so do I. I'm jealous.
It's more interesting when he does it.
Yeah, I'm jealous of him. All right, Malice, what's your story?
Well, my story is, as we all know, Pyongyang and North Korea are the craziest country on earth. And just this past summer, they invented their own time zone. So now Pyongyang is half an hour before the rest of that time zone, going back to the time before as they call it, the evil conquered them and made them a colony. But, it's not the crazy thing they've done with this. In 1997, they invented their own calendar. So rather than starting from the birth of Christ, they start from the birth of the great leader Kim Il-sung. So now, according to North Korea, we're in the year 104.
You know what's funny? And you people are going to think I'm weird. I never experienced a different time zone until I was 21 or 22 when I flew to Washington, D.C. I lived in California. I only had one time zone. You never had to leave California, or you went to Mexico or Seattle. But the time zone was the same. I didn't even know what a time zone was. When somebody explained it to me, I go, I didn't get it. When people would talk about jet lag, I didn't understand what jet lag was.
Oh my God.
I know.
Did you pretend that you understood what it was, though?
I pretended, but when the time zones, I didn't understand until I flew to D.C. for a job interview.
How old were you?
Probably 21.
Hey,
but I had no desire. I didn't have relatives that lived far away.
In the
only
words of
reason
my
I travel, relatives.
Yeah,
really,
in the words of my daddy, I don't believe I would have told that.
Yes. Wow. By the way, when I think about North Korea, I think about this. We don't need Marvel Comics-based movies. We don't. Why can't we already have a Marvel villain in North Korea? America should be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think it's really sad how North Korea is often portrayed as a carnival when, in fact, they have concentration camps and they starve children for political purposes. So
they kill people.
This is the realest villainy we have on Earth today.
Yeah, and something bad's going to happen, right?
Something good, hopefully. They're going to collapse soon. It's starting already.
Do you really believe that?
Yes.
You've been there.
I have been there, and it's starting because people are now using markets to provide food because the government couldn't do it. And this creeping cynicism is the thing that brought down the Soviet Union as well.
All right, something more important, Joanne.
Yep.
Your story was Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah, I say it bad.
As in large.
Yes, I say it bad.
It's the largest story of the summer. I'm fascinated by the fact that as Americans shamed a female celebrity for having a snack. We are always talking about how these celebrities don't eat, or are they good role models because they're so thin. She was enjoying a nice, tasty donut, the treat that is American.
Spit on it!
It was a donation.
No,
if they would have sold those donuts on eBay, that would have been millions for this donut shop, but nobody understands capitalism
And I would like to thank our good friends at TMZ for providing us with a video of my favorite summer moment.
I don't know. I think the worst thing in the world are young people with fame and money, because when they get it early, they have no wisdom and they have no humility. So what they do is they spit on other people's food, and they think it's funny. Or Justin Bieber urinating.
She thought
Well, but too, if Ariana were Aaron Grande, I think that this story wouldn't have had as much traction because we expect that kind of behavior from boys. Not
But the boy singers look, they all look the same.
That's true.
I can't wait until she's behind the counter serving the donut.
Amen.
And I'll be there with a camera filming your
come on. You know she's going to be
butt.
dead before she's 25. She's never going to
Wait a minute, Malice. You are so named correctly, Malice. I don't know. She is the recipient of the steroidal news cycle. 24 hours. It was less than 48 hours. It was gone.
Yeah.
It just went away. All right. You, Katherine, story.
The escaped convicts. Those guys, right?
Yeah.
They almost did it, but they were drunk.
Yeah.
They were getting drunk. If you have stuff to do, I know it's fun to party, I know it's fun to booze. Don't drink before work. Definitely when you're trying to avoid life imprisonment. Just be sober for a little bit.
When should I not drink?
When you're trying to avoid being in prison for the rest of your life. Yeah, don't drink.
Every man indulges in this fantasy. It is a sexist comment, but we've always wondered where we would go and who would we call if we were escaping either where we live.
I indulge in this fantasy as well.
Yeah, have you?
Yes,
escaping from a women's prison. What would you be wearing?
Yes. What would I be wearing? Well, probably the prison jumpsuit, but I would have to make sure that before I went, I manipulated somebody before from the outside.
Exactly.
Instead of from the inside.
This is the lesson. This is the lesson. You need a year of manipulation of one person. All you need is to manipulate one person to help you, and everything's set.
I hope Huma Abedin's listening because she's going to have to, point in these chips pretty soon.
That's good.
Would I be allowed to wear these glasses in prison?
I don't know.
Yes,
I think so.
You do get to wear the glasses. I think this is a lesson for women. If you want to find a hot guy who works out, who's tight, you got to work in a prison.
Noted.
None of them on the outside of the walls anymore.
Speaking of walls, liberal panel, what was your story of the summer?
My story this summer was NASA's New Horizon Pluto flyby, Greg. It was a story that reminded Americans that at heart we are explorers, pioneers, and innovators, and the world should thank us for illuminating yet another corner of creation's majesty.
Wow.
I love you.
I love you too, but
We're one human family.
No, you're not human. By the way, too bad we don't have a space program anymore.
I disagree. We have a humble and ambitious space program that still stares at the stars and dreams that the universe is America's.
Oh, well, here's
We own Pluto.
All right.
USA.
Any comments on that story?
The best part of the flyby was that we saw that Pluto actually has a heart on it. So it's a very cute little planet, and that was my favorite.
It's an adorable planet.
Yeah.
And it, of course, did not want to be considered adorable. It's like, no, I'm a real planet.
There's the heart. There it is. Some alien put that there. It'll be a gift. You know what it'll be? It'll be like a Putin. That'll be a gift Putin gives to somebody later. Speaking of gifts, if you haven't pre-ordered my new book, How to Be Right, basically teaches you how to be persuasive when it comes to being in a political argument or any argument for that matter. You can go to ggutfeld.com or Amazon and order it. It's a beautiful book. And look how it's small. You can read it. You can read it in an hour. Anyway, no, 2 hours. Okay. Before we go, also, I just wanted to mention my other highlight of the summer, working with Lou Dobbs. He's appeared several times on the show so far, and I thought about running a Best of Lou Dobbs segment, but that's redundant because he doesn't give you anything less than the best. Here's a moment I'll never forget when he gave me a lift to one of our first shows and made sure I had everything I needed.
Well, here we are.
I don't know, Lou. Do I have to go to work? Can't I just go to work with you?
You're going to be fine. And if he gives you any trouble, just ignore him.
He's constantly following me in the halls.
In the halls?
In the halls.
Well, ignore him.
All right. I'll try. Thanks, Lou.
Have fun.
I'm going to try.
Greg.
Yeah?
Did you forget something?
Oh, thanks. Peanut butter?
Exactly.
Awesome, thanks.
Greg.
Yep.
This?
Oh. Thanks, Lou. Almost forgot. Thanks.
Greg.
Oh.
And this?
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Jeez, I almost forgot. Uncle Steven.
And this?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? His brother. Thanks, Lou.
Remember, have fun.
Hey, you've dropped your alligator.
So last year, my New Year's resolution was to try and learn about one new thing a week. This week, I decided I'd like to learn more about dinosaurs. Here to teach me all about them is the world's foremost expert on all things Jurassic, Chip Razorton.
Thanks, Greg. I am so excited to tell you about dinosaurs today. Let's see. We should just start off probably.
You know what? This is a terrible idea. This is where I get my magic guest wand. It changes any guest into a better one. Sorry, Chip. Magic Guest One says, get the guy who killed Bin Laden, Rob O'Neill. So, Rob, before we start talking about ISIS, I just ask you, since you did kill Bin Laden, do you still keep in touch with the family?
No, only through various social media. Sometimes I'll get a tweet every now and then. It's not very complimentary, but when
you killed my dad.
The other son is calling for attacks too, and like we were just saying, Kollege Bin Laden tried that too. It didn't work out too well for him. We met him on the stairs on the way up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So but we're not on speaking terms in general.
You killed my dad. #unfair. LOL.
Pretty fair.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was pretty
fair to kill him.
I don't think they make an emoji for that though.
You could string some together.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to ask you, whenever you and your significant other, whether it's a girlfriend or wife, I don't know where you are these days, when you know it's not going well in a tiff, do you ever blurt out, but I killed Bin Laden, almost as though to erase any kind of the edge that she might have on you?
No, that never works.
Never works?
Worked. I've tried it before in bars. It doesn't work there either.
Really?
No.
Has enough time gone by that now you're back to buying your own drinks?
We actually tried that. I was with my brother last night at a Kid Rock concert, and we tried to get drinks out of someone that didn't even believe us.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so what you're doing is you're just walking up to girls at bars and saying, I killed Bin Laden. Can I buy you a drink? Because I can imagine maybe.
It's to the point now that it's like, even if I tell them I know Navy SEALs, they don't believe it.
Yeah, you know why? Because there's so many Navy SEALs with books out. Everybody's a Navy SEAL. Right? And that's
what they're saying. If you want to sell a book nowadays, either put sniper, ninja, or SEAL in the title.
Mine is coming out in the spring. Joe Ninja.
Sniper, Ninja, SEAL. That's the title of the next book.
Yeah, that could be a movie too.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, exactly. And it's like I don't know what it would be about. Maybe it's like a handy.
It'd be about man doing manly killing.
Yes, that was well done.
And then a flag on
Put
there.
that in your proposal. Rob, I got to ask you, a lot of these presidential candidates are talking about what they would do with terror, what they would do with ISIS. Is there anything that stands out? Anybody that you think has the right idea?
I think that the guys that are doing the primaries right now, or the debates right now, they're all smart enough to realize it's going to take a large effort, a lot of different minds, a lot of different planners out of the Pentagon, State Department, things like that, because it's not a simple solution. I think the one that they would be most afraid of is would be Donald Trump.
Yes.
I think that he doesn't use teleprompters. He pretty much tells it like it is, what's on his mind, and I don't think he takes a lot of crap from people.
Although,
it's not his thing.
I might say that they would be afraid of Marco Rubio. Because if he would throw that football and hurt a child, an innocent child, I mean, he will do anything.
That was an accident.
How do you know?
There are no accidents.
There are no accidents. Thank you very much. You are both crazy people. How could it be said that it would take no more than 10 days to get rid of ISIS?
That all depends on if you let the guys, the men and women in the armed forces, take the gloves off and fight them. And go over there to fight them, go over there, kill them, and then leave it alone. You don't need to rebuild their nation for them.
Almost depends how much God, gun, grits, and gravy you've had, Greg.
That's
what he would use.
Don't put it on me. Is there any way, inevitably, to stop, maybe it's not ISIS, but an Islamic State? Because isn't that essentially what they want? Whether it's Iran, there's always going to be
the radicals on both the Shia and the Sunni both want the end of the world. The caliphate's going to be that, so they can all go to heaven. Now they're living in an ancient time. The way to defeat it is with the moderate Muslims that maybe realize just because someone doesn't believe what I don't believe, I don't need to cut their head off or cut them in half or drown them or burn them alive or things like that. It's going to take people but they're going to need to stand up and say enough is enough. And right now, no one's fighting ISIS. That's why they're internet tough guys. That's, no one's fighting them.
You know what worries me is it's not the barbarism that we see now. It's the future when they marry that ideology to modern technology. Like we can buy drones at Radio Shack if it still exists. When they figure out how to use this stuff.
You mean like the nuclear weapon we gave them?
Yes, exactly. I'm worried.
That's a problem. You give them a legal pathway to a nuclear weapon as someone that says, 10 times more religious than your crazy religious aunt. They know they're right.
That's crazy.
Give them a bomb with give them an intercontinental ballistic missile. That ICBM's not there so they can hit Tel Aviv. It's there so they can hit Manhattan.
Yeah. Is ISIS worse off now than maybe a year ago?
They're getting stronger because it's not long before Assad regime crumbles, and then who's in charge?
Well, this segment made me feel sad and scared.
It should. No, you shouldn't be sad, but you should be very scared because that should inform who you elect. I believe this is the #1 issue. Terror, ISIS is the #1 issue. It's not immigration. It's not race. It's not. It could be the economy.
Easy for a white guy to say. Well, that last one.
Well, thank you. How do you know that I'm white? Inside, I could be something else.
Yeah, well.
Yes. Well, inside, I'm not white. We know that. I have a very bad diet. Rob, thank you so much, and thank you for your service, and thank you for getting rid of Bin Laden. I would have gotten around to it sooner or later, but I have some
stuff going on.
Yeah, I had some difficult things going on.
Yeah. I wasn't very busy, so I had a little extra time.
Yes.
Knock that one out of the park.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, that's it for this segment. Talk to you later. You don't get a Super Bowl ring if you lost the Super Bowl. So why should your child get a trophy for just playing a sport? It's evil. After Steelers linebacker James Harrison said he was giving back the participation trophies his 6- and 8-year-old sons got, parents took sides faster than Michael Moore at Boston Market. Veteran local newscaster Jim Vance not only agreed with Harrison, he said giving a kid a trophy they didn't earn is a form of child abuse, because that's not the real world. Joining me to discuss this, a man who has no choice but to live large, our big news correspondent, TNA wrestler Tyus. Tyus, you have strong opinions about this. Should he have stripped the trophies from his kids?
I think the manner in which he did it might have been a little iffy. Maybe not put it on Instagram.
Yes.
Because that walk to school the next day was probably, not fun for the kids.
Yes.
But his message, I agree with it 110%. And here's why. In this country, I feel we have gotten away from the value of failing.
Right.
And losing and picking yourself up. Everyone loves the movie with the montage where the guy gets beat up, has nothing left, his wife leaves him, and he's crying in his house with the lights off. Everyone loves that.
Yeah.
And then he fights back and he gets it, and then he takes her back, but it's neither here nor there.
Yes.
But we don't do that anymore.
No.
When we lose, it's okay. Here's this anyways. No problem. You're okay. I love you, baby. You're fine. And then this, especially with young men, I can't speak for young women, but for young men, not having those lumps and knocks in life to come back from, when you're an adult and the first time you get hit with real stuff, when you go for a job and they say, no.
Yes.
Well, okay, I didn't get the job, but what do I get then? Nothing. Please leave.
Yes.
They
I've got
can't
many
handle
lumps.
that.
I have many lumps.
I've been fired from everything. Probably get fired from here. But that's just how it is. But I've been through so many setbacks in life that I can deal with it. Those things are important. You didn't get a trophy because you didn't win.
Right.
When you win, you get a trophy. Then when you win and you get that trophy, it's a tremendous feeling. That's why you see grown men crying when they win a Super Bowl, because the training and everything that went through it and the sacrifices and everything goes there. When you just get things all the time, you don't appreciate anything.
See, yeah, I kept all my participation trophies, but it was to remind me that I was a failure. I put them next to all my brothers actually did stuff well trophies.
You're an angry...
But you know what?
Anger is healthy if you channel it right.
Yeah, you're like...
Yeah,
you're like a
very small, angry woman.
I think this is why every kid, though, should participate in theater. Because not everyone can be the lead.
True.
You learn
Story of my life.
rejection very well, because it's a play. There's a certain number of characters. Either you make it or you don't.
I try to be in musicals. I can't sing at all. I sounded like a power tool even as a child.
And now you're well adjusted. See,
yeah.
I only got most spirited.
I know all the Othello lines. I'm ready, boss. Yeah, you're big. You're a soldier. Stand in the back. But I know that... Stand in the back.
Yes.
The guy stands in the back.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go stand in the
You
back.
can never be a flyer.
No, no.
But however, you are a bodyguard. You are a bodyguard to many important, famous
bodyguard,
people.
babysitter.
Who did you bodyguard?
My longest tenure, the one that ended up becoming exclusive with was Snoop. I was with Snoop for a long time.
Now, was it hard? It wasn't hard work. It couldn't be, because he didn't move quickly, right?
He didn't move quickly, but he didn't sleep.
Yes.
So he's like that turtle.
Yes.
Like, hey, cuz, I'm gonna play this video game for 8 hours. Watch me. Then we're gonna go food shopping at 7-Eleven. Then you're gonna drive me for 4 hours, and I'm gonna play some video games some more. So, have you ever watched someone play a video game?
It's terrible.
it's like watching paint peel.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And I used to keep a toothpick in my mouth because I would do this all the time, just so I could stay awake. Because you can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
You know, or hey, you're gonna sit outside my hotel room for 10 hours while I play a video game. So it was nonstop. Like people get misconstrued like Snoop's this party animal. He's not. And at the time I was when we were coaching football. So you know, and I coached football and stuff with him. I did a lot of stuff with his kids and stuff. But it's non-stop. He never sleeps.
Wow.
Never sleeps.
See, I would think with his preference for drugs.
Drugs.
Yes. Have you ever?
Okay, you're throwing that word around like we talk like that guy said abuse.
Yeah.
Child abuse. Child abuse used to get beat, to be abused, and now he's smoking drugs.
No. I'm for legalization.
Yeah. So he partakes in marijuana every once in a while.
Recreational activity.
Yeah, and you have to understand when he first started, you know, cocaine and stuff was legal. So, you know.
Wait, what?
Yes. Was the movie The Bodyguard realistic?
I don't know.
Well, me and Snoop never made out, if that's your question.
Yes.
When I left for the WWE, he wasn't like, there wasn't rain. Him going, cuz I'm like, don't say nothing.
Sounds like...
It was more like, you know, Star Wars. He's like, I love you. I know.
I think that movie has to be made in this day and age.
The gay bodyguard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Who would you like to play? If you had to play the bodyguard, who would you like to be guarding in that movie?
Oh, boy.
John Samos?
That's a good answer. That's a very good answer.
Or,
oh, boy.
you know what? Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, rugged.
How about a young Mel Gibson?
No, I want the angry one.
The angry?
Because I want when I leave, so we don't cry, he calls me names.
And
I don't love you anymore, you know?
Yes,
like, you know.
Exactly. All right, we got to move on. Thank you so much, Tyus. Always stop by when you're in town, because we always enjoy your company.
And, you know, you're my brother from another mother and father.
That is so true. The similarities are uncanny.
Yeah.
All right, stick around, America. We'll be right back. According to new research, as opposed to old, cat videos are just as stimulating as a cup of coffee. So I agreed to let the Millennials go to an internet cat exhibit in the hopes that I won't fall asleep during the package. Roll it, Fran.
People say us millennials aren't cultured enough. And that is just plain wrong. So wrong, in fact, that we have decided to come to the Museum of the Moving Image to celebrate our appreciation for fine art.
And to celebrate the art of our generation, internet cats.
I haven't seen work like this since the Mona Lisa. Trump Your Cat is not only relevant to today's times, but relevant to every art enthusiast.
The cat wants a cheeseburger. He does not have a cheeseburger. Why does he not have a cheeseburger? I think the artist was trying to comment on the lack of resources in the Obama economy.
So how does this art make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel all kinds of things. I feel bad for some of the cats. I love some of the cats.
What has been your favorite part so far?
Coming here. I really like your costume, though. Where'd you get it?
I don't understand the question.
If you look at the shadows, I think that also represents something.
Everything represents something.
Yes.
There are no mistakes. There are no coincidences in art.
I think I might cry. I did already today, so.
I just saw one that really upset me.
And what one was that?
Well, that was the one where the poor cat went into the urn, and I have no idea whether it could get out or not.
But that might, in fact, be the artist's intent.
Well, that's not the only one I didn't like. I also didn't like the cat that was getting really dizzy on the turntable.
Yeah, I feel for that cat. I do. I do.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad, because other people are laughing. I didn't think it was funny.
We all interpret art differently, that's for sure.
Could you get out of bed in the morning without internet cat videos?
Yeah, I could imagine that, yeah. I could, yeah.
Wow, stronger than me, I guess. Yeah. All right. What about you?
Well, I could, but my son can't. He's another cat crazy person.
Is he single? Yes, he is. Nice. I don't have any problems anymore.
No.
I found all the answers.
All the answers. And it was right here the whole time.
It was on these internet cats.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty impressive, Kat. Was that a life-changing... Oh, I called you Kat. Did it change your life?
Yeah, all the moments change our lives, right? Every moment changes your life a little bit. I was incredibly comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I could tell.
Comfortable.
You rented that costume. It was probably worn by somebody who did something in it.
Oh, no, I sleep in it now. I sleep in it now, yeah.
I do think it's important to point out that after we shot this entire thing, the museum spokeswoman wanted to make sure we understood that this was not an art exhibit, that this is sort of like a history, a timeline of internet cat videos and how they've kind of grown popular, which just means she doesn't get art.
Everything's art. Everything you do is art.
Everything you do. Malice, even you're kind of like an art exhibit. At least with that hair. How did you take this museum? Did you like it?
I hate cats.
You do?
This past summer, I went to Prague because my friend's dad owns a zoo, and after the cheetah took a swipe at my face, I knew the truth.
Do you think that's cool? When people say I hate cats, like, man, you're so cool. I'm too cool for
Not
cats.
as cool as interrupting, apparently.
When you're 20.
So wait, I want to know what happened in the zoo.
I was playing with the cheetah. It turned around and took a swipe at my face, and after that, I've become a dog person through and through. I've known evil.
Why were you playing with a cheetah?
Because it's at a zoo that my friend's dad owns. Pay attention. This isn't complicated.
No, but you know what's complicated is who has a friend that owns a zoo?
He's from Prague. They're all weird over there. It's like Balky.
So wait a minute. Everybody in Prague
Both his parents.
owns a zoo?
Both his parents own zoos. They're divorced, yes.
All right. Before we go to break, it's time once again for Hard Evidence. That's our 52-part series examining the disturbing story of a man named Trevor. To recap the story so far, Trevor has been wanted by the CIA since the late 60s after claiming he had information that the moon landing had been faked. For a time, Trevor hid out on Alcatraz Island, though he later escaped and almost died after a run-in with Huey Lewis in the news. It's true. But to better explain what happened next, we thought it be best to first look into his past.
Do the answers to why Trevor did what he did lie in his past? Was he simply a monster or simply misunderstood? Could the warning signs have gone back as far as the Red Rum Camp in Ronkonkoma, New York?
A lot of nights at sleepaway camp, he would just disappear for hours, but he was always back in his bunk by morning.
But did everyone know the same Trevor? What about his first love?
Trevor would order one dessert and then ask for 2 spoons. Some people call that romantic. I call that being cheap.
Could all of this have been prevented with a second order of Bananas Foster?
That loser is about as useful as a steering wheel on a mule.
Or was his penny pinching part of a more sinister plan?
He was always very smart, but from what we know now, maybe a little too smart.
Smart enough to convince someone he loved to do something they never thought they would?
We had some wild times, but after that night, I knew I'd never see him again. But then I did.
But did her return to Trevor's life ruin his only true friendship?
Trevor was my best friend. I don't think anyone ever thought he'd become my worst enemy.
Wow, Dagen, I didn't know you were so close to Trevor.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should go to break, huh? All right, when we return, the most offensive tweets of the month. Stay tuned. So ever since I invented Twitter, companies have been getting themselves in trouble tweeting inappropriate things. Just last year, Dave & Buster's, a place, was called racist for tweeting, quote, "I hate tacos, said no one ever." And since then, there's been a lot of other offensive tweets from hundreds of companies, but frankly, the lamestream media, which I coined, let many slip through the cracks. But they didn't slip by our very own Katherine Timpf. Time once again for...
Thank you, Greg. We're going to start off with one from Ford Motor Company earlier this week. A pond, a man's best friend, and a hashtag Ford truck. Could you ask for anything more? Hashtag Truck Tuesday. Yeah, I can think of something to ask for more, right? How about not using gender-specific language in your tweet? Man's best friend. Why the hell would I want to spend the day ruining a pond with emissions from this pollution machine with some misogynistic dog?
I agree, except that we don't know if the dog is misogynistic. Dog could be female.
Well, it could be, but females can still be misogynistic.
Yes, but that's her choice.
First of all, gender doesn't exist.
Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Yes.
Move on.
Yes, this one from Old Spice I'll have to do next. The process of being a new man involves hamburger meat, wheels, lessons, and Old Spice deodorant. Wow, right? I can't believe I'm the only one to notice this. It's a total slap in the face to the transgender community. Really? All it takes to transition is a cheeseburger and some deodorant? It's that easy, huh? Aren't you sick of transphobic deodorant, Greg?
I can't. My problem is it's called Old Spice. Why is age so important? Why are we placing old before a product that old people like? I mean, imagine you could do that to everything, like this sweater.
Yeah, old sweater. I've seen that sweater a lot. But, that was pretty bad. And if you think that's bad, this one from Maybelline, New York is awful. Groceries? Maybe. Makeup? Definitely. Hashtag Sunday feels.
Ugh.
Got that? Makeup? Good. Eating? Bad. It's a great message for women. You know what else Sunday is, by the way? God's Day. That's why I never wear makeup on Sunday, to celebrate how God made me. Well, Sunday today, I'm not wearing any makeup right now at all.
I can tell.
Yeah,
you're glowing with your own natural glow. You're basically saying instead of eating food, eat makeup. That's disgusting. That can't be healthy.
No, it's not. It's not. Speaking of eating healthy, you might not want to eat at Taco Bell, and especially after you see what they tweeted. Donating a $1, their mistake, not mine, could help teens graduate high school and reach their potential. Head to Taco Bell or donate online. Greg, do they really think a few bucks is going to solve institutional racism?
No.
Maybe that would work for rich white kids, but that just shows such ignorance of what some kids have to go through. If a few dollars could solve disparities due to bias-standardized testing, then great job, Taco Bell. Otherwise, that's one of the most offensive tweets I've ever seen.
Well, you're really getting worked up. I think we should have a boycott or a bellcott, because that's clever. It's a play on words. And also, boycott is sexist.
It's sexist. Very, very sexist.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. Now you're getting it. I've boycotted them already.
Oh, well, good for you. You boycott a lot of things, don't you?
Yes, I boycott anything that makes me upset once. I'm done with it. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah, wow. I boycott astrology.
Bad idea. How are you supposed to know what's going on?
All right, time to take a break. But first, what are our guests receiving tonight, Carl?
Tonight's guests receive a free guest wand. Invite someone over and change your mind after they arrive? Worry no more thanks to this one-of-a-kind magical device. Note, the guest wand does not work on in-laws.
Finally tonight, a look back at my favorite moment of the summer. The first Republican debate was watched by 24 million people and then picked apart for countless hours on TV in the days that followed. But the best analysis happened on this very show, courtesy of the young members of the New York City Urban Debate League. Who do you think won the debate and why?
Well, I would say Marco Rubio won the debate, and the reason for it is because he seemed so prepared and confident for what he's going to do as president, and went into each issue with so much detail that it shows that he's really prepared, and he countered all the others by telling them that, no, this is how we need to do it.
I see the successor to Special Report right there. Who do you think lost?
I definitely think that Donald Trump lost. In my own opinion, Donald Trump has no idea what he's doing up there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Who did you like up there?
I agree with Fadia. I liked Marco Rubio. He knew exactly what he was doing. When he got on stage, he knew what he was going to say, and he knew what was going to persuade the people to agree with him, take his side. He just knew what he was doing, and I like that because I'm all about professionalism, and that's what he had that most of the candidates up there didn't.
Very good. Silma, let me know, who did you like and who did you dislike?
Well, I like John Kasich because John Kasich bring out really good points, and I dislike Rand Paul because all of his points were not as strong as Marco Rubio's or John Kasich. All of his points were not that great.
Yes. I agree with you, by the way. I don't think Rand Paul's points were that great either. All right, Aida, who did you like, and who did you want to hear more from?
I like Ben Carson. He had an interesting twist. Because he works with brain, he thought that, well, we need more intelligence, and he brought that to the table. He thought that, well, as a candidate, he needs to bring intelligence and things of that nature to the table.
That's good. Before I move on to my other panel, I want to ask you, Fady, do you ever try to debate your parents over stuff? Like if you want to stay out late or get money to go out, do you ever try any of your debate tricks on your parents?
All the time.
Yes?
All the time. It's all about convincing them to do it. It's just like a debate. You convince them to let you have a certain item or get you to go somewhere. It's all about convincing them.
Bintu, do you have any dirty debating tricks that you could give me? Because I'm terrible at debating.
I would probably say there's always some type of videotapes of your opponents debating. You just got to take their weaknesses and use it against them.
Very good. Selma, do you ever get nervous? And if you do, how do you combat it?
Well, all the time, because every time it's a big debate, well, I combat it by just being myself and trying my best.
I like, that's a good tip. Aida, how do you practice? How do you get better?
Well, I use pens, and I put them towards my mouth to make sure that I don't stutter as much and elaborate on my words.
I do that too. I put my pen in my mouth just so I'll shut up, because I never know when I'm going to say something completely stupid, which is almost all the time. You guys did great. Thank you so much. I don't even think the people I have with me now will be able to surpass your expertise. Thanks to Dagen McDowell, Michael Malice, Rob O'Neill, Tyus, Joanne Katherine, and the liberal panel. My apologies to Chip Razorton. Good luck with their dinosaurs. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I love you, America.
It was all about tattoos, leather, and rock and roll. And that was just brunch. He had a tramp stamp. I should have known then and there what a loser he was.
He was always very smart, but from what we know now, maybe he was a little too smart. He was always very smart, but from what we know now, maybe a little too smart.